Welcome to today's program. My name's Tim Cross. I'm the pastor of Living Word Church in Muskegon, Michigan. Got a couple of my men here with me. I got Kim Cyr. Kim and I have known each other. You've grown up here in the Muskegon area.
Pretty much, yep.
All right. All right.
Ever since I was a youngster.
Ever since you were a youngster. And then Ken Armstrong, you grew up in this area too. Went to Oak Ridge.
I did. Graduated from Oak Ridge, yeah.
And played football for Jack Sugars.
I did.
All right. And you own a trucking company, or you manage a trucking company?
Manage a trucking company right out of this area.
All right. And Kim, you're a businessman. You've been a salesman for Action Industrial Supplies.
Yep.
How long you been there?
I started July of 80.
All right, so you've been there 30-some years? Yeah, goodness.
Wow, I don't feel that old.
Yeah. And how long have you been married?
40 years this past August.
40 years. Man.
Yes, sir.
Salute you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Ken, how long you been married?
22 years.
22 years. All right. I've been married 30. You guess?
That was a good guess, though. I think I got it right.
All right.
Hope his wife's not.
See, this is for men only. I told the ladies to turn.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We've taken a few programs, talked a little bit about the issue of pornography, and we didn't cover everything. We could go on forever. We kept it fairly PG, and just talking about the issues of pornography, the fantasy world out there, how it affects people's lives, how it gets into their psyche, so to say, and affects them. I think Mark Gungor in that conference we had, that marriage conference, he had a bunch of the daytime soap stars and a Family Feud. They had a whole question about what could enhance your love life.
Yep.
And so they went to these soap opera stars, and they all got together, and they said, "All right, what's your choice? You choose one." And they said, have an affair. Their number one way of enhancing your love life was to have an affair. And it went up, ding, they couldn't get it. And what was the next one? View pornography together?
View pornography, yeah.
And it went up, ding, no, And what they had three, one soap on one side,
yep.
Soap opera. They had three responses. None of them were up there on the board.
Yep.
Then they went to the other side, some other soap stars.
Yeah, where they had a chance to steal, so they only need one answer, and they're all still up there. None of them have been picked. They couldn't get it right.
They couldn't get a one right.
No.
And when they went out, it was like going out on a date, flowers, romance. I mean, it was like Hollywood doesn't have a clue.
Yeah, exactly.
There's probably a lot of truth in that, especially when you start reading about the length of their marriages. I think we made 40-some days or something.
So you've been married 40 years. I've been married 30. You've been married 22. Let me ask you, have you ever had times you thought, forget this, I'm out of here? All right,
seriously, maybe sometimes in the early days, before I met the Lord, before I became a Christian, it probably had crossed my mind a few times.
But you stuck through it.
I stuck it out, and I'm amazed because in the early days of our marriage, I was pretty independent, self-centered, selfish, wanted my own way, did my own thing, and pretty much let her take care of the house and take care of the kids and that kind of thing. So I just praise God that she stayed with me through some tough times when I didn't treat her right. It's just plain flat out didn't treat her right.
So she stuck with you and you stuck with her.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy now?
Oh yeah, we're good friends. If we don't get a chance to, spend an evening together after work or something like that, it's like, well, what's up with you? How you doing? It didn't used to be that way. It's like, but she's my best friend, so.
Y'all even exercise together, don't you?
It's cool. She kills me though.
You look like you're actually enjoying yourself.
Oh no, it's good. It's good.
Now, Ken, you ever had any thoughts or opportunities to quit and give up? I mean,
I think marriage is like everything in life. I mean, I've had days, it's like, man, I just soon get out of this. But I've had that at work. I've had it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you start to find out what love really is and the commitment part of that and how that's such a major factor. And you say, you know what? I mean, it's not, they say the grass isn't greener on the other side, And it's that way when it comes to relationships too. you know, you're looking at somebody out there and you're thinking, oh man, they got it all together. They have so much fun. They never argue. They never have anything.
Sure.
You know, and so, man, I'm going to find me a woman like that.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't
reality
happen.
is,
Reality is it doesn't happen. No.
as long as you got two people. You know, the funny thing is when I married, when I found Vicky and we started going out and stuff, the thing that attracted me to her the most was that she was a strong woman. She didn't need somebody to do every little thing for her.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Well, then after you're married for a few years, because she's a strong woman, you're kind of have this button heads kind of thing.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And so it's like the very thing that
personality
attracted you to her becomes the very thing that you got to get through later, you know? And there were days that I would sit down and go, well, you know, why are you such an idiot? I mean, that was what attracted you to her.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about yourself.
I'd say that to myself. Clarify that. No, I didn't say it to my wife. I'd say it to myself. You know, I'd be like, man, you're just an idiot. You know, and
That
sometimes
poor
we're
woman.
idiots. You know, I mean, how else do you say
No,
it? You know?
I agree. I'm not denying that at all.
Yeah, all right. Now, I've been married 30 years. We sort of did not, an option was, divorce was never an option, but boy, there's a couple times it just roughed time.
Yep.
But yet, married for 30 years, we're like best friends. I mean, I can say it this way: I'm more in love with my wife today than I was when I met her, and you know, when I married her, and that relationship has grown, and I can say it's worth everything we've been through, and it's worth the fact that we stuck it through some tough times, some times that we didn't necessarily like each other. You know, I look at her. Yeah. Okay. You know, I look at her now and say, honey, I like you. And she looks at me funny. I said, not only, you know,
It wasn't always this
it
way.
wasn't, you can be married and quote, love each other, but not like each other,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, it's like, you know, I like you. I mean, I like
Being
spending
around you,
time
hanging
with you.
out with you. Yep, you betcha.
You know, and but that doesn't just happen. You know, now Kim, 40 years, what kind of things besides, now you got saved.
Yeah.
You know, you shared, I mean, you had an experience with the Lord.
Right.
Y'all were married about what, 14, 15 years when you really?
That was we got married in 71, and my experience with the Lord was in, I think, 82.
Okay.
I don't know the exact date.
So
I
about
didn't
11
write
years?
that down. Yeah.
All right. Well, what are some things that you can say looking at your marriage that makes it successful?
Today, you mean?
Yeah. What is somebody out there watching and say, you know, what'd you do? 40 years, man, 40 years with one person? I mean, that is like, man, that's forever. I mean,
Well, one of the things I think is I try my best to compliment her, you know, tell her she's beautiful, you know, and tell her that I love her, and not only those kinds of things, but also, I mean, she, you know, Gary Smalley did this 5 love languages thing, and one of her love languages is acts of service. So if I do something for her, if I help her do the dishes, or if I get dinner ready when she's coming home late from work, or got exercise class or something, I get dinner ready, I mean, that just blesses her socks off. And she, because I am denying myself maybe something I wanted to go do, you know, go watch TV or go out hunting or do something like that, and doing something for her, she understands that, and the other day I bought her a ring for her anniversary thing, you know, and she was having some trouble with it, and I said, well, just take it back and get a different one. She says, no, you picked this out. I mean, you went to a lot of. She understands that for me to go and, you know, do this, and it takes a lot of focus for me, you know, and so and just little things like that. I mean, things where looking to bless her. You know, and really calling her up sometimes just during the middle of the day. How you doing? What's going on? Just to talk with her, see how she's doing. Just little things.
yeah, okay. So they're not huge things.
No, not at all.
Good. Do you know when you've scored? Do you know when, you know, I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
you know, in hockey, the light goes on and the music, I mean, do you know, I mean, can you tell when you've done something that has blessed her, made her happy?
Just the way that she responds to me.
Okay.
Just the way that she responds. You can tell that she's really been blessed. I mean, and sometimes, you know, I'll send flowers to work for her just because, you know.
Stop it, you're hurting me.
The florist walks in and all the girls are looking, and I got a call from one of her people that she works with, and she was messing with me. She's kind of a character anyway, and she said, Mr. Cyr, you sent flowers and you put the wrong name on them. You were supposed to send them to me, so-and-so. Now, I remember, call the florist back up, tell them to come and get these and put my name on them. And, I mean, she was, and that blesses Nancy, you know, when I do things like that.
So, little things.
Just little things.
Not huge things.
Thinking of her. Yeah, the huge things. You know what I heard the other day, too? Well, it was part of this marriage seminar thing, or somebody said it. I don't remember. I listened to a lot of stuff, but they said that one of the things was that it's not important, generally, the size of the thing that you're doing for your wife. I mean, it could be a big shebang, but the number of things. Even a number of little things that bless her a lot more than maybe just one big thing once in a while. On your anniversary, you always do this great thing, but the rest of the year, not much goes on.
Well, I think Mark Gungers, he said this, said, what's better, a dozen roses or one rose given 12 times?
Exactly.
You know, you give a dozen.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it right
You
there.
give a dozen roses on one time, that's one, you've scored once.
That's
Once.
right.
That's right.
But if 12 days, you know, for 12 weeks in a row, you
Yep.
brought home one rose,
And you got scores every day, every time. It's good.
12 times.
a lot of it is just a simple change of focus because
Well, that's what it is.
so many times, I mean, I remember one day I was doing a study, and I use this in most of my wedding ceremonies, I share this. One day I was doing a study on pleasing the Lord, and I came across the verses in 1 Corinthians 7 that talks about the married or the single person, that their aim should be to please the Lord. And then it said the married couple, it should be to please their spouse. And
Sure.
one of those, I want to say one of those lights went on, ding, you know, and
Yeah.
you go. And I sat and I just sat back and I thought, what would happen if two people would get up in the morning,
And yeah.
and when they would get up,
Exactly. How?
and the husband would get up and say, his thought would be, what can I do to bless my wife today?
Exactly.
And the wife would get up and say, what can I do to bless my husband today?
Mm-hmm.
To where their focus is how they can bless each other. Because so many marriages that we deal with and that are usually in trouble, it's usually, they didn't do this for me, or they should do, you know, and everything's,
Gimme.
yeah, everything's pointed at them.
Yeah.
Gimme, my name is
True.
Jimmy. I mean, I've started doing something, I don't know if I want to admit this to you guys.
True confessions.
I make the bed in the morning.
Oh, I can't believe he does that.
I get up and I'll make coffee. And when I hear my wife get up, I take her a cup of coffee
Oh man, that's big time.
and
boys.
come and set it on the counter in the bathroom. And while my wife's taking a shower, and I
Yeah,
say,
she's
"Honey,
got her
I got
coffee."
some coffee for you." And she doesn't ask me to make the bed. I make the bed.
That's good.
And you know, you can tell when you scored.
Oh yeah.
You
There's
can tell.
no doubt about it.
You know.
Yep.
But
It's very romantic.
listen, we'll be back in a few moments after these commercial breaks.